No se pierdan el lanzamiento de ese jueguito que acaban de ver ahí, ¿sí? Un jueguito que hicimos nosotros, muy interesante, muy divertido. Mañana a las 5 de la tarde. Lo voy a ver. Este es un pedacito así de un trailer. Y también es educativo, así que ya lo van a ver mañana, Fridays, 5:30. No, Anita, not yet. Anita, I know you're excited to come in, but not yet. ¿Ya es hora de Anita? Sí. It's time of Anita. Come on, Anita.
Thank you.
Welcome to the BitConf stage. So, Anita, yes, she's a writer. She's a podcaster and a writer. And she has a very nice book for going into Bitcoin, yes, in very easy steps, yes, and learning about Bitcoin. So I asked her, actually we discussed about it, yes, of giving a brief introduction about how going into Bitcoin, yes, through the different tools for learning in the deep about Bitcoin. So welcome, Anita, and enjoy.
Thank you very much, Rodolfo. Hello, thanks for having me. I'm first time in El Salvador. I never would have thought that I come here, but now I'm here and it's great. Thanks. So, what are we talking about here? Okay, that's too far. Can we go to the start, please? Okay, no. I start here. The talk is called The Art of Learning Bitcoin, and I want to show you ways to easy get into Bitcoin. When I started in early 2017 with Bitcoin, I was very confused because the people were saying many things about Bitcoin. For instance, Bitcoin is freedom. That's not my slide. Please, can we go back? Sorry. So Bitcoin is many things. Bitcoin is freedom. Thank you. Bitcoin is money. Bitcoin is a protocol. Bitcoin is digital gold. Bitcoin is sovereignty. Bitcoin is neutral. Bitcoin is software. Bitcoin is a currency. In El Salvador, it's even legal tender now. Bitcoin is decentralized. Bitcoin is time. Bitcoin is hard money. Bitcoin is fairness. Which is actually the thing where I can identify the most with it, because I think the most important thing about Bitcoin is that it's accessible for anyone, regardless of gender, wealth, status, or color, anywhere globally in the world. Bitcoin is so many things. And if you're confused at the moment, you might think that Bitcoin is everything you don't understand about money, combined with everything you don't understand about computers. Yes, it's a fact. And the reason for that is because Bitcoin consists of many things from different areas of knowledge, research, and things like that. So there are things from cryptography in Bitcoin. It's about monetary policy. It's about game theory. It's about human rights. It's about IT, mathematics, physics, and even economics. Not even economics, it's economics. And that's Bitcoin. And that's why it's so confusing. And many people don't know where to start to learn them. And when we are in the later stage of Bitcoin, we always talk about, and then I fell into the rabbit hole. What do we mean by that? Well, for me, I started to read a lot of books and videos, and to start at the beginning, I started with the white paper. And from there on, you go deeper and deeper and deeper, and then you can connect the things in your head, and you realize, oh, this one thing is connected with the other, and that's how you get deeper into the rabbit hole. It all began in October 2008, when an unknown person named Satoshi Nakamoto presented the Bitcoin white paper on a website called bitcoin.org, and you can still find the PDF there. In this paper, this person laid out the ground concepts, the basic foundation of Bitcoin and how it works. And it's very interesting to read. Also, if you're not a mathematics genie or an IT genius, it doesn't matter. You can just read it to get a glimpse of what Satoshi Nakamoto's intentions were. Satoshi called it a peer-to-peer electronic system. And it started on January 3rd in 2009, when the first public Bitcoin block was mined. And the most important invention or discovery that Satoshi Nakamoto had was to find a solution to the problem that if you send money online, you always need an intermediary. And Satoshi Nakamoto found a solution to this problem. So the first time in the history of humankind, we can send money globally, digitally, without the need for banks or other financial institutions. Satoshi Nakamoto wrote one sentence into the first public block of the Bitcoin blockchain. And it's the headline of the Times of the same day, Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. And for me and for many other people, this is a sign that this work is connected to the financial crisis in the year 28 and 29, where basically banks and financial institutions were responsible for this crisis. And actually, right at this time, it seems that we are at the beginning or maybe in the middle of another of these financial crises. So Bitcoin is money for the people, from the people. And that's important. And it shows let's say the other, sorry. The thing is, Bitcoin has very important properties that no other money on the internet has. First, it's permissionless, meaning you don't need to register anywhere. You don't need to pay a membership fee or a package. You don't need to show your ID to receive or send your Bitcoin anywhere. It's transparent. This means everybody can read the Bitcoin blockchain, the ledger of all transactions that have been sent since the beginning of the Bitcoin blockchain. This transparency is also needed that the maximum supply of 21 million Bitcoin cannot be changed, or that it would be visible if anyone would try to change it. That's important because Bitcoin's very important property is also that it's non-inflatable, meaning there can never be someone who changes the money supply to say, now we have 50 million Bitcoin, which would decrease the value of a single Bitcoin. And that's what's happening in fiat currency. We have a lot of inflation right at the moment. They say it's transitory, but yeah, who knows? Okay. So, consensus. The 21 million limit can also not be changed because for every change in the Bitcoin software, you need the consensus of all participants in the network. So that means even if you're just a user, you only have a wallet and send and receive Bitcoin, you're a participant of this network, as also the miners, the people who have full nodes at home and such. It's neutral, that's what I said before. Everyone can use Bitcoin, regardless of your age or whatever. It's borderless. You can send money globally in seconds. If you maybe have friends or family abroad that send you money back home, you don't need Western Union anymore. You can just use Lightning or the Bitcoin blockchain to send money safely, much faster, and for much less cost. It's decentralized, which means there is no hierarchy. There is no leader. We, the people, basically own Bitcoin. The network is a public good. It's for everyone. And Bitcoin is censorship resistant. So all these properties combined make it so that nobody can change any of the transactions. And nobody can take your money away. But this only, you unlock all these properties and features and advantages for yourself only if you hold the keys to your coins. This is a so-called seed phrase. It's like a keychain that unlocks all your Bitcoin addresses where you have money stored on the blockchain. So if you have those, you're basically completely independent, and nobody can take your money away. And you might see this slogan very often: not your keys, not your coins. If you don't have the seed phrase, if you only have a password for an account on Coinbase or Kraken, you basically not own Bitcoin. It's just like another bank. They can close your account, they can freeze your funds, whatever. So now, there's a concept we call the staircase to financial self-sovereignty. And it's a concept that I heard it first from Stephanie Murphy, and she's a podcaster also. And it goes like that. On the staircase to financial self-sovereignty, most of us, I mean not, but many of you maybe, are on the ground floor. You still just a fiat user. You use US dollars, euros, or whatever. So basically, you have not unlocked any of the opportunities and advantages of Bitcoin. On the first floor, you might go to Coinbase or Kraken or any other centralized exchange and exchange the first US dollars to Bitcoin. So actually, you think you own Bitcoin, but you don't really. I meet a lot of people, they tell me, oh, I also earn Bitcoin, and I say, where? And they say, maybe at Bitpanda, which is a big Austrian exchange. And I say, yeah, well, but actually you don't own it then. And then very fast, they learn and go the next step. And the next step is the second floor, where you own your keys and your coins. That's when you have the seed phrase to a wallet, an open-sourced wallet. I have here some examples of wallets that I recommend. For instance, the Moon Wallet. The Moon Wallet has the advantage that it's for bigger Bitcoin on-chain transactions as well as for Lightning transactions. Or the Breeze Wallet. I use it because it's not only a Lightning wallet, but it's also enabled that you can listen to podcasts. I'm a podcaster, and if you like my work and you use that, you can send me sats while you're listening to my podcast. That's a new way to fund content creators, which is great. And another opportunity or alternative to the Chivo wallet is the Bitcoin Beach wallet. And then, on the next step, if you're really a Bitcoin enthusiast and a little bit of a tinkerer at the moment, you can buy yourself a Raspberry Pi and run your own full node. Or you can download the Bitcoin software onto your computer and run your own full node. Then you are what we call your own bank. You basically unlock all the possibilities that only banks have at the moment, like in your pocket. You have your bank, you are your bank, your own bank in your pocket, because you verify your own transactions, and nobody can take your money away from you, and you are a part of the network, because you also contribute to the network through your software. And on top of that, but that's, for the enthusiasts, then there is DeFi. We will have decentralized finance atop of Bitcoin too. RSK, for instance, and on top of that, Sovereign is an example. So I suggest you go like this. You read the white paper where it all began. You don't need to understand everything. It's just to get a glimpse of it. Then answer the question, why Bitcoin? Not only why for you, but also why in general. Why is Bitcoin important for the world? What is money? I mean, I never thought about what is money. I didn't learn it in school, and I guess you didn't too. Where does the US dollar come from in the end? How is it protected? So, and then you see, in comparison to Bitcoin, that there are huge differences. So what are the most important properties of Bitcoin? I was talking about those, but you can learn about those too, what's behind of them. The staircase of financial sovereignty is important. And then I suggest that you not only listen to number go up and I'm going to be rich in a year, but also that you think about all the stories or arguments maybe about using Bitcoin. The thing is, if you think about all the arguments against Bitcoin, you're again for Bitcoin. I mean, at least in my experience. How to store your keys safely? That's actually the most important thing. And then which strategies are there to earn and invest and use Bitcoin? And surprise, surprise, all of that is very comprehensively in my book, which is called Learn Bitcoin. And the L is in a bracket because I want you also to know that it's now even possible to earn Bitcoin online. So one example was podcasting 2.0. And I listed some of the other possibilities that there are right now. Then, I have other great books as recommendations for beginners. First, it's a children's book, and these books, you can all get them in English and Spanish. A children's book called El Dinero Bitcoin. Also, adults can read it. I read it too. It was great. Then there are 3 volumes of The Internet of Money, El Internet del Dinero by Andreas M. Antonopoulos, which is also a great introduction to Bitcoin. It's not technical at all. He brings it into the context of history, recent developments in the internet and such. It's a great book. And then the Little Bitcoin book from the Bitcoin Collective. They are explaining why Bitcoin is important in the sense of for human rights, for disenfranchised people, for people in emerging countries and in authoritarian regimes. Very interesting book. If you want to go deeper into the technical details of Bitcoin, I suggest you read Mastering Bitcoin by Andreas M. Antonopoulos, and soon, Mastering the Lightning Network will be out, and it has a general part about Lightning, what is Lightning Network, and then it goes deep into the Lightning Network, explaining the technicalities. I'd say it's more for developers then. Yes, if you don't want to read books, but rather learn online, Andreas has an online course, a free online course, Introduction to Bitcoin and Open Blockchains, and from today on, it's also in Spanish available. A deeper look into digital currencies is the Introduction into Digital Currencies course by the University of Nicosia. It's also a free course. It takes some months, and you learn a lot. I did it in 2017. It's a great course. I can really recommend. And then I have here some resources in Spanish. I put these on my website. You can find all the links at anita.link/start. So, why would I buy a book if I have all these free online resources? Yeah, completely understandable. I think it's a good, you can combine these things. And also, in the book, this is basically a comprehensive list of things, so you can save time and can learn everything what's important in one small book. So, and now, I want to know of you, who will now go home and learn more about Bitcoin? Who was first? I think you were first, right? One book for you.
I was raising my hand.
Okay, thank you
here.
very much.
I was already raising here, Anita. I was already raising the hand there.
Oh, sorry.
You didn't saw me.
No.
No, I wanted the book too.
Where should I
No,
go?
it's just a joke about the book. Don't worry. So, bueno, thank you, Anita. Anyone, we have 3 minutes for one question. Anyone, some question to Anita? Yeah. Well, don't run. Yes, there is one question. at the back. Decila, así. No, se me complica escucharlos. Si hay micrófono, bueno, no estaba pensado para que hubiera una pregunta, así que por eso no hay micrófono en el escenario. Chicos, ¿me traen micrófono? Si no, acércate rápido. Let's see. Sí.
Hi, my question is about, you were talking about inflation and Bitcoin. So I have some question about the historical market. For example, the market crash that have been occurring, or for example, the depressions or the inflationary gap that we are having right now, or the recessions that the world has had, how this could affect Bitcoin, or do you think that Bitcoin is more useful to have Bitcoin is more useful to...
Perfect. Now, a question. This is related to her topic about learning of Bitcoin? Or previous topics?
No, about this one. The thing is that she was talking about inflation and things like that, so having Bitcoin and learning to use Bitcoin, how can be useful to prevent us to receive the damage from inflation or depressions in the world?
Yes, I think I know what you mean now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, good question. So, how do you mean that? How can Bitcoin protect us from the inflation from the fiat system? That's the question I understood. So in the long scale, or in the long run, I mean, Bitcoin at the beginning in 2009, it was worth nothing. Only 1 or 2 people in the world were using it. So, and from then on, now we are at like, I think, what, 57,000 US dollars, something like that. I don't watch that every day. Yeah. And so you see, in 10 years, it has had this huge increase in value. If you compare that, for instance, to the euro or the US dollar, or in countries like Nigeria or Zimbabwe, Venezuela, where they have inflation from like 200%, then of course you see that you have much more value in Bitcoin, because you not only can store your value, it also raises over time its value. So you have to think long term, not short term. That's very important. Because if you only think short term and think you can time the market and get a profit out soon, you will lose. You will definitely lose. So save what you can save and hold it for at least 5 years. That's my recommendation.
Thank you, Anita. Bueno, good applause to Anita.